to everybody's questions. So make sure you drop those questions down below. YouTube, welcome. Happy New Year. We are just getting started with a little Amazon FBA Q&A. We got the TikTok here answering those questions. TikTok, if y'all want to go support and go watch the stream on the YT, it means a lot and it helps out a lot. But let's get back to it. What's the cost to get started? For the business model that I do, which is private label, on average, $3K to $3,500 all in. It's not, this 5,000, 10,000. Well, actually, 5,000 is realistic. It's not this $10,000, $20,000 to get started like you might have heard on the internet. Significantly less. In fact, almost every product that I've ever launched on Amazon was launched for under 10K. Chris on YT says, "What's up, bro? I'm not getting notifications from TikTok, but YT coming through strong." Yes, if you guys want to make sure that you're notified on the lives, make sure that you go and turn YT notifications on. Sorry, I was taking my socks off. And so that you guys can stay up to date with all the lives that I do. For anybody who's in here, Chris, you two in the YT live, everybody share one win that you had in 2024. Business win, life win. If I were to launch this year, I don't want LLC under my parents. Understandable. So all my products will be launched 2026. Nice. Do you think Zen business is good for LLC? What do you mean Zen business? What does that even mean? Netto? What do you mean netto? Like net profit? Or what are you referring to when you say netto? Let's go. Happy New Year again, everybody. By the way, on TikTok, I just posted some gem videos today. I think all my videos are gems, but second to last video, I talked about how I failed selling a certain product on Amazon, and I share that product in that video. Made a few videos about that product, but I think it's always good to just share the losses. Do you think Trump's tariffs will affect people that buy from foreign suppliers? Yes and no. Yes and okay. There's a few things I don't want to go too far down this rabbit hole, but there's a few things to consider when we look at tariffs. Number one, Trump implemented a lot of tariffs when he was president in 2016. Didn't necessarily affect or put any businesses or industries out of business. Joe Biden, president 2020, 2021. He kept all those tariffs that President Trump implemented. Not only did he keep them, but he increased a lot of those tariffs. I think that a lot of the narrative that we hear and see is fear-mongering, and you have to understand certain people's rhetorics. Now, what happens if there really are tariffs implemented? Well, just like any time tariffs are implemented, the cost is just going to go on to the consumer. And then you have people say, "Oh, but then, so that's just more inflation?" Yes, but assuming that the economy is better, God willing, people are making more, and so that it balances out. I do not think that it is going to be the end all be all by any means. On a product that sells 40 to 50, what do you think the cost of goods would need to be to make a profit? There's a lot of factors in this, so it's not a one size fits all for Chan, because a product you can have 10 products that are $50, and each one of those products can have different Amazon FBA fees. If they have different Amazon FBA fees, well, then the cost of goods and shipping per unit may need to be a little different for it to make a profit. Usually, on average, your landed cost is around like 25%. It's a way to get LLC. Where do you think is a good place to get your LLC? LegalZoom is solid. There's Swift filings. None of that's sponsored. You also have, I now get all of my corporations out of state. And so I have third-party companies, which is essentially it. LegalZoom and Swift Filings are third-party companies, but I have them set it up. I met net. Net on this account is 40% margins after everything. Mango, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate you. Do you invest? I do. I don't like talking about investing because all of the people who make fake accounts of me and pretend to be me and try to scam people out of money, their main pitch is talking about like investments in crypto and all of that stuff. So I don't really like talking about it, but I do invest. I was watching a video about tariffs. Those bills have thousands of exceptions. It's not a blanket. Yeah, like I said, a lot of things are fear mongering. I'm not saying that certain things aren't facts or certain things aren't going to play out, but usually the media articles, because what drives more clicks? Me saying, "Oh, look at this cute puppy," or me saying, "Look at the puppy fall out of a tree," or something, for example, right? One is going to catch a lot more clicks than the other. Happy, not so happy. And so, like 2023, if any of you guys remember or gals remember, there was a bunch of fear mongering talking about the new Amazon FBA fees are going to be the end of Amazon. I actually just got a text. I'm going to find it because I think it's worth, sorry, I was moving the phone so I can see this. I just want to show you guys like the level of fear mongering that's out in the world, and you just, not all information is created equal. While I find this text, I will continue on questions. In business, everything that can go wrong will go wrong. I don't necessarily disagree with this perspective, but also I'll give you the flip side of that coin. In business, if you put in the work, everything that can go right could also go right. You know what I mean? So yes, you're going to have challenges. You're going to have this perfect game. That's why I don't believe in creating a perfect business plan. When I first started my business, not my cousins who mentored me, but I had another cousin through marriage. He's in the family through marriage, who is offering, it was a nice gesture, but he was offering to fund my very first business. And he said, okay, go sit down and you have to create a perfect business plan. And my cousins who actually ended up mentoring me were like, what? Perfect business plan? Like, that doesn't even make sense. Because what happens is you create this perfect business plan. You think you have the perfect, okay, if this happens, I'm going to do this. And then life hits you and you realize that that perfect plan kind of just goes out the window. That being said, you don't have a pessimistic view of like I don't go into business thinking, oh, I'm going to fail, or oh, this is going to go wrong, or oh, my product's not going to perform well. No, because then why are you even going into business if you're just assuming that it's not going to do well? Hey, broda, what up, Fola? After how many reviews would you turn on PPC? For me personally, 10 to 15 reviews at minimum. And that's at the start. I always push for more and more and more and more and more reviews. Oh yeah, so this guy's I get a text. Amazon is crashing and burning. Effing us all. FBA will purge all small sellers and only have big brands FBA. The fees are going up, and now they're absolving themselves of all responsibility with our products. He said, I'll find the vid of this guy that he saw this information with. I said, the fees go up every year since we started. It's fear mongering, yo. He says, policies are changing. We are paying more and more. It's on point. I said, everyone said 2024 was going to be the end of Amazon. Biggest fee change ever. And that's a fact. Not that bad, especially with the workarounds. He said, margins are shrinking fast. Said, I looked at the fee increase for 2025. Not everyone's fees are even increasing. Some people are going to have lower Amazon FBA fees. Literally every time this year, it's the same narrative. And then this is where it gets interesting, because it's not necessarily that people believe these things, but ready for this? Key 2 words in the beginning. He said, he's saying. So not that I believe this guy's saying they are effing all the smaller guys off the platform, not responsible for lost or damaged goods, incoming or outgoing. That's half the reason to sell on FBA. I said they've never been responsible for lost or damaged goods unless they lose it. And they dropped a lot of programs for new and existing sellers to lower fees. There's a whole program to avoid storage fees for new sellers for an entire year that they just implemented last year. And we talked a little bit more. I won't read the entire conversation, but they ended up getting the point that I was making. A lot of it is fear mongering. I'm going to make a video about how it's the end of Amazon because of the fee increases. But then people just read the headlines. People just see the headline of the video, but then go look at the breakdown of the fee increases for 2025. Most sellers are actually going to see a lower Amazon FBA fee. In fact, Amazon is across the board lowering inbound placement fees. They're lowering storage costs across the board. So you really have to look at the truth of these narratives that you guys hear. No, Amazon FBA is not hard. Whoever responded yes to that. I think we have to redefine what we think is hard, right? Every business is hard. But as a 19-year-old with zero e-commerce, zero business experience, I didn't go to college. I was a C+ student at best. Didn't do any schoolwork, none of these things. I went on to create a multi-7-figure empire on Amazon. I have my little cousin, same thing, just graduated high school. He's working at a car dealership, selling cars, doesn't have any e-commerce experience. He's going through the path and just placed an order for his first product. My little homie, one of my best friends when I was in high school, same thing, didn't go to college. He goes through the steps, gets in the program, starts launching Amazon FBA, zero e-commerce experience. He's doing 20 plus K a month profitably selling on Amazon right now. So is business a cakewalk, a walk in the park, a yellow brick road to success? No. Are there going to be challenges and difficulties and all these things? Yes. But is it rocket science? No. I actually have a video in my drafts that I just made where it's a video response to a comment. I have some videos where I'll break down the steps of Amazon FBA. So step 1, create a seller account. Step 2, get a product research software and find a product to sell. Step 3, find a manufacturer to produce that product. And every single time, without a doubt, there's a comment saying, it's not that easy. What do you mean it's not that easy? I just broke down, is doing product research difficult at times? Yes. Is sometimes negotiating with manufacturers difficult at times? Yes. But the steps, when you break them down, are not rocket science. It is as easy as step 1, create an Amazon seller account. Step 2, get a product research software and find a product to sell. You have to put in the work to achieve the end result for each one of these things, but it truly is that simple. Let's go. Sorry for the rant. Let's get through all these questions, son. Does weight and size matter with FBA fees? Yes, that is the biggest thing that matters. 2025, let's do this. Yes, sir, Airstick. 2025, baby. Let's make it a great year, everybody. How much realistically would you need to start doing this? $3K USD minimum. Purified, thank you so much for sharing the live. I appreciate you. We're going to go to the YT chat real quick and then shift back over to TikTok. Went from just watching Luke on TikTok to joining the masterclass to launching my first product to now on track to make roughly 10K on my test shipment. Let's go. God bless you, brother. Currently going through the PPC classes, trying to master PPC as it is a very important step after launching. Also learning. Oh, Chris is sharing his wins, by the way, because I told everyone, if you guys want, share a win that you had in 2024. Also learning new things like how to look at business reports to help with optimizing my PPC. If he's talking about FBA fees, mine went up for Christmas, but now are back down. Yes, your storage costs will always go up during Q4. Would you recommend stuffing product listing with keywords to help organic sales? No, Ricardo. Well, yes and no, Ricardo. So if you have if you're selling a water bottle and you put the keyword water bottle in your listing, you 100% would need that in your listing in order to rank and index for that keyword organically. That being said, you don't want to put water bottle 10 times in your listing just for the sake of doing it, especially if it doesn't flow, because you're not going to rank any higher putting it in 5 times versus 2 times. So make sure you have all your important keyword and keyword phrases in there. And but you don't need to like stuff and be repetitive. Make sure that it flows well. Yo, I'm joining the mentorship this month. Let's go, 4chan. There's quite a bit of fake accounts, LOL. Dude, I mean, I had somebody from high school message me just the other day. Hold on, where is it? Well, I'll keep getting to questions as I find it. But it's so crazy. It's crazy. I never in my life thought that I'd be in a position where people would be trying to pretend to be me to scam people out of money. But that's the world. Adri, thank you so much for the follow. How you get your suppliers from supplier without paying upfront for products? It's not drop shipping. You have to pay upfront for products. Sydney, thank you so much for the follow or for sharing the live. Captain, thank you so much for the follow. Charlie, thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate y'all. What day was this text message? Oh, here it is. So he was like, is this you? But he sent me the messages, right? And it says, so how about I coach you on how you can start profiting a lot from it? I will be coaching you through a process, and I will never message you guys like this. Let alone I'll never message you guys unless you message me first. I'll coach you through a process, and it will 500% ROI weekly. I'll be in charge of your first trade so you don't make losses from your second. I'll coach you to do it on your own. I'm not dyslexic. This is just how it's typed out. But I will be entitled to 10% of your profit. I'll also never take profit from you. That will be my commission for helping. 10% sounds fair, right? Be careful of fake accounts, y'all. Do just a little bit of looking and you'll see that I only have one account, and it's not hard to spot it because I don't buy my views or followers. If a video has 5,000 views and 0 likes, it's probably not me. When you first start off, why is everything gated? How do I ungate? That's for arbitrage and wholesale. I do a business model called private label, so it's a bit different. Arbitrage and wholesale essentially would be like, well, wholesale, for example, would be like taking product like this, AirPods, and from an official wholesaler or distributor, and you resell them on Amazon. You have to get ungated because Amazon doesn't want fake AirPods, so they want to make sure that you're getting it through proper channels. Hence why you have to get gated. Private label is where I take white label or generic products like this from a manufacturer, find ways to differentiate them, add value to the product, put my own brand or logo on it like this, and sell them as my own. The only products that need approvals for private labels are products for safety concerns, like if you have a toy product or a baby product, and those approvals are fairly easy. MC, thank you so much for the follow. Would you recommend? I already answered that. Who are your wholesalers? I do private labels, so I get my manufacturers from Alibaba. Is it hard to do? I answered that. Utility bill verification. What's the question? How can I get started? Step 1, create an Amazon seller account. Step 2, find a potential product to sell. Get a product research software and find a product to sell. Is FBA better? Without a shadow of a doubt. If you're referring to like FBA versus FBM, yes. Jeff, thank you so much for the follow. Not gonna lie, people are scared. More room for us to make money. Yes, sir, Airstick. You guys have heard me talk about the 90% rule. 90% of people, and this isn't meant to be like a diss. You know what I'm saying? Like, if that's your destiny, then God bless you. And as long as you have a happy, healthy life. But 90% rule, 90% of people are not going to do anything substantial. They're going to work a regular job, take their 2 weeks of vacation every year, et cetera, et cetera. Actually, you'd still be living great. Most of the world doesn't even live like that. 10% of people are going to go on to accomplish something great. 1% of people are going to go on to create something substantial. The Jeff Bezos is the Elon Musks of the world. I'm spinning my wheels on a 1. What do you mean by that? Maggie, thank you for sharing the live. Can I get into FBA fast? On average, takes 3 to 6 months to start. What's the best categories to sell in 2025? There's every category has potential. Every category has potential products with good market numbers. I have my favorites, but that doesn't mean that they're the best. Do you do 100% private label? I do, Shaka. That being said, my favorites: home and kitchen, office products, baby products, toys and games, health and household, sports and outdoors are some of my favorites. Sorry, I lost my place. How much do you need to start? At least 3K USD. Thank you for answering my question, of course. How much realistically would you need to start? I answered that. Abu, thank you so much for the follow. Lost, good to see you, brother. Happy New Year. Thank you for sharing the live. Is that Grant Cardone's book in the back? Yes. There's a reason that I only have 3 books right here in the back. I'm actually about to add 3 more to the collection. 3 more books that have helped me make a lot of money. The idea with the book, or with the shelf and the things, well, at least the books in the background, are I only wanted the books that impacted me the most. The 10x rule probably helped me make the most money out of any book. And the reason for that isn't because I read the book and then all of a sudden I started making money. It's because I read the book, I got on fire about the information, and I implemented the information in the mindset that I learned in that book in my business and in my life. What is the most important factor that helps you convert your listing, your images, your title, your bullet points, your description, and your reviews? A+ content. Maggie, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate you. What's your best selling products? Supplement and home and kitchen, home decor. How much to start a brand? About 3K. Happy New Year's, Luke. It's been a while. Happy New Year's to everybody. I hope everybody is having a very blessed start of your year. Tiffany, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate you. How tricky is it finding your products? For me, not that hard, because I've been doing it for a while, and I tell people product research is a numbers game. So, your first product, your first 10 products that you look at might not be good, but it's almost like a muscle that you build up. And the more that you do it, the more repetition, the better that you are, the more chances that you're going to have at hitting that home run or finding that winning product. Do you get product images created when ordering sample or ordering actual inventory? Agma, that's on the YT chat. I do this after I place my bulk order. So once my order is being manufactured, I'll make sure that I have a final production sample of my product so that I can take pictures of it. And then while my product is being shipped and manufactured, or manufactured and shipped, I should say, I will get my listing created. Because I don't want to create the listing if I'm 100% sure I'm not going to order the product. And so in the sample phase, I'm still seeing like, okay, is this a good product? Are my differentiators good, et cetera, et cetera? Do you get your product images created? Oh, nice. Okay, I see that was you, Doppel. I'm assuming, right? Yes, sir. Also, if you guys want your questions answered faster, because obviously I'm always behind on the TikTok chat and the YT chat's right in front of me, go ask them on YT, YouTube. Did you explore Jungle Scout / Alibaba? I've used Jungle Scout. I like Helium 10 better, but Jungle Scout is a good option. And yes, I also use Alibaba. You 100% private label? I am. Shop, thank you so much for the follow. How good was the 10x rule book? For me, it's my #1 favorite book that I've ever read. But also I've recommended it to people and it didn't hit the same way for them as it did for me. When do sales pick up after holidays approximately? Like end of January? So after you have samples in hand and you have chosen supplier, you get photos created? Correct. How long will it take to learn the Amazon course? I mean, to fully understand and learn, it's a study guide. It's meant to be studied. So that depends on how fast you absorb and process information. In terms of how long it takes to get through it, you can get through it in I've had students get through it in a weekend. Really depends on how much time you dedicate to it. Ibrahim, thank you so much for the follow. Should I private label my product? For me, it's the best business model on Amazon. Jovi, thank you so much for the follow. Pretty Flacco, thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate all of you and everybody in the TikTok and the YT chat. Let's go. Is there a way I can order on Alibaba straight to Amazon FBA? Yes, you would place your order and then you would create a listing on Amazon, and then you would get the box information, packaging dimensions from your manufacturer. You would input that. You would create a shipment and input all that information, the size of the boxes, how many units are in each box, the weight. And then you would get your Amazon FBA shipping labels in PDF form. You would send that PDF over to your manufacturer. They put it on the box. They send it directly to Amazon's fulfillment center. Yeah, of course, I do. The AMZ Masterclass Mentorship Program in the TikTok bio. I think this is a fake user. It's pre-recorded. Nope. Yeah. Anyways, I like how when people don't get their questions answered, that's the first thing that they think. Been a minute, man. What up? What up, L? Good to see you, brother. Also, I don't even think you can do high quality pre-recorded lives on TikTok Live, but it would be like a screen recording. Ellen, thank you so much for the follow. Is it normal for all units to take more than 3 weeks for them to be available at Amazon? If you sent them in during December, yes. Is this all private label sales? It is, yes. Patricia, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate you. When do sales pick up after the holidays? It does, like I said, it does depend on the category, but generally after January. I answered that. Abraham, thank you so much for the follow. Makes sense. Q4 is a different scenery. Yeah, Q4 it's like it's the Wild West in a good way. User 33, thank you so much for the follow or for sharing the live. Appreciate that. So I'm guessing I'm not really really launched till the end of January. If your product is available, you're ready to go. Even if all your never think that all of your units need to be fully checked into Amazon for you to be off to the races. The day my product says available, even if it's a month shipping time, I'm off to the races. If your product did not convert very well during Q4, well, I don't know what the rest of the question is, but I'm just going to address this anyways. If the time of the year, okay, if you've geared up and ready for launch during Q4, you are essentially going to print money, assuming you have a good converting product. If you did not convert well during Q4, it has nothing to do with Q4, Q1, Q2, Q3. It's you needing to go back to the drawing board with something about your product listing. Maybe you have 4 reviews and you're like, why didn't I convert well? Well, because you don't have a lot of reviews. So pushing for more reviews, optimizing your images, adding A+ content, optimizing your title. I don't think that, and I'm not talking about, this is now separate, speaking generally, not talking about Ricardo, but I think that people underestimate how many people do Amazon wrong. They're like, there's so much competition. Do you want to know why I'm able to dominate in the private label markets that I enter? Because not all the competition is that great. And so some people think like, oh, I have bullet points, I have a title, I have a description, my product should be good, right? Well, no, because it's not SEO. Actually, you guys should go watch my last YT video. It's a great example of this. The title is how to create, wait, I have to move my phone, how to create a product listing that sells on Amazon FBA. I do some screen sharing. I show you guys what a good example looks like, what a not good example looks like. And when you look at the not good example, they have everything. They got a title, they got bullet points, they got images, they have A+ content even. They even have brand story, but it's not a good converting listing. It's not a good listing. Now, again, that's me speaking generally, but there's this expression, the market is the market is the market, meaning the market ultimately decides what the market likes because the market is the market is the market. So what does that mean for you? Well, you might think that your images are good. You might think that your differentiator is good. You might think that your title is good. You might think that you have enough reviews, but the market doesn't. And that will reflect with your sales. The market doesn't lie. The market doesn't care about your feelings. And the market gives it to you straight. If you have a good product and your listing is optimized and you have good reviews, you will get sales. If you have the opposite of all that, you will not get sales. How long did it take to learn? I answered this already, Ibrahim. It goes at your own pace, bro. My mentorship, I've had students finish it in a weekend. Can you boost sales through high volume generic keywords alone? Well, no, because again, conversion. If I sell if I sell one of these, let me see. What should we show? Hold on. Oh, this is a good example. Okay. If I sell this, right? Tony Stark, proof that Tony Stark has a heart. If I sell this on Amazon, what am I going to convert for better? Desk light or desk lamp, or literally the key? Imagine it had good search volume. Tony Stark heart light, right? I'm going to convert much, much, much better for the specific keyword targeted towards this product than I am going to for desk lamp, because yes, desk lamp has much more search volume, much more people are going to click on my ad, but it's somebody who's looking for a desk lamp going to buy my product. So it's not just about, oh, let me do high search volume, generic keywords. Let me just fill in the blanks. Let me just bid on something for the sake of bidding on it. No, everything that you do should have a strategy. There's a method to the madness. So if I'm putting a keyword inside of my listing, there's a reason for it. Little fun fact for you guys on, for example, one of the home decor accounts that we have, it's solely dedicated to home decor type products, didn't start targeting keywords like home decor until we were doing 150,000 plus in top line revenue on that account. And even then, we still don't convert that. We have thousands of reviews. We still don't convert that well for a keyword like home decor, as opposed to our fine-tuned keyword, something like, well, I'm not going to say our keyword, but do you think Chinese sellers are taking over? I've been hearing that a lot. No, I don't. Not even a little bit. Do you want to know why I don't think that? Because they've been taken over. They've dominated the Amazon landscape since I started selling in January 2019. I don't think, this is not a real statistic, so someone might have to fact check me on what I'm about to say, but this is just my prediction. I would actually predict that there are more US sellers today versus manufacturers than there were when I started in 2019. Now, why do I make that bold claim? Because there's more and more citizens, US citizens, Canada citizens, people from all around the world starting to sell on Amazon because of people like me who teach people how to sell on Amazon. But how many more manufacturers are being created every day? Like, okay, if there's 10,000 individual sellers who come onto the platform every year, are there 10,000 new manufacturers popping up in different countries? No, right? So the ratio is actually that there's far more individual independent sellers than there are manufacturers, in my opinion. Do manufacturers sell on Amazon? Yes. Are they going to beat you on price every single time? Was that the case? I sold a supplement. My very first product was a supplement, and Chinese manufacturers were coming on and selling that. It was like a milligram supplement. So I think mine was like 3,000 or 5,000 milligrams. I forgot what my first variation of the product was. I think 3,000. And mine was lab tested, made in the US, all this, the whole nine. And there was people claiming, and you know they're Chinese manufacturers because they say they're from China. There was people, and this is before Amazon was really cracking down on like approval tests. You didn't even need approval tests to sell supplements back then. It wasn't until like a year or two later that they started implementing that. There was people. So my 3,000 milligrams, I sold for like 40, at first 35, and then I landed at like a $45 price point. That was a really good deal. There was sellers claiming that they had 1 million milligrams, which, fun fact, because I knew the market, like I said, my product was lab tested. It was literally impossible to get 1 million milligrams into one single gummy. There's manufacturers claiming 1 million milligrams per serving, and it's 1 million milligrams for $9.99, $19.99. They dominated on price. I still dominated them. Home decor is a broad keyword. That could be thousands of products. Exactly. That's why you don't want to go on broad, generic keywords. You want to go on the ones that are the most fine-tuned to your product. What does your daily schedule look like? Like my personal daily schedule, you guys got to keep in mind that I'm at a different point in my journey, but wake up, go to the gym, check messages, check Amazon accounts, and then I'll knock out my power list for the day. My schedule hardly revolves around solely Amazon FBA nowadays. Like, it's the mentorship program, it's the listing creation site, it's working on, new businesses that I'm creating, it's business meetings with different partners for different businesses, it's, hanging out with the fam. So I am always working and hustling, but I spend like 4 to 6 hours. Like today, for example, I was working on Amazon ads. That was one of the things on my power list, and I probably spent an hour and a half working on it today. I have a lot of products that was doing good until I started getting bad reviews. Yes, reviews can make or break a product. You gotta push for more reviews, bro. This is where people get comfortable. Thanks for answering. Of course, this is where people get comfortable. So the one thing that, like, I don't know, I truly wish people could just understand the mindset that I had when I first started, but I push for reviews like nobody has ever seen. Like, to this day, I don't, outside of like people who pay for thousands of reviews on like these review tools, which I don't recommend. I don't think I've seen anybody hustle for reviews organically as hard as I did on my very first launch. And I carry that over for all launches nowadays. I never stopped getting reviews. I was doing 6+ figures and I was still pushing for reviews. Why was I doing that? Because in my head, I'm like, okay, I'm profiting $10,000+ a month. Even if I spend $1,000 a month of my profit on reviews, all that is going to do is make me more money. And all that is going to do is combat it for when people leave me that inevitable 1-star, 2-star review. Another thing, if you're getting a lot of bad reviews, it's a good indicator to see, okay, what can I change about my product, especially if those reviews are all about the same or similar things. Mature class in LA. Let's go. How do you get your products to first pages? Search, FBM, sales. Sales drives rank. Man, speaking of a question, I need some help real quick. I have 3 color variations of this product. Everything is the same besides color. FBA fulfillment fee should be the same or at least very close, but 2 of the colors is like $5 more. Amazon probably messed up your size. I asked for a remeasure and reimbursement, but Amazon only lowered it by $1. I spoke to my manufacturer. They said they all should be the same dimensions. I would maybe order each one from yourself and double check the dimensions. And then once you have the units on hand, send that to Amazon to change it. How do people do private label? I've been doing OA, but private label got me lost. You take it step by step, just like how you started arbitrage. You didn't look at arbitrage and be like, okay, it's a 10-step process. How do I figure out all 10 steps at once? No, you started with creating your Amazon account, and then you started to learn product research, and then you started to understand all the nitty and gritties of arbitrage. Private label is the same. You break it down step by step. Stacy, thank you so much for the follow. if you send them pictures too, I think you can get it fixed, bro. What are some products you recommend to start with? I don't recommend anybody products directly outside of my mentorship students who do the product selection option, but I have lots of videos on my page on the exact product criteria that I use for products that I find. No, wait. I asked my manufacturer to send dimensions again. I would order it from Amazon yourself, bro. Don't rely on them. But no, I wouldn't create a removal order yet either. I mean, unless you're losing money, then maybe close the listing. What would you do if you have a good product but customers can't find your product? I would optimize my listing. I would push for reviews. I would start running PPC ads. You're never going to launch a product on Amazon and then just launch it and do nothing, and then it's going to just customers are magically going to find it. That's where people, when people say Amazon is saturated, Amazon is competitive, I don't think it's saturated as a whole, but it is competitive. And because it's competitive, when you launch a new product, you are not going to just automatically get sales. Amazon does not reward the most minimal amount of effort it takes to get a product launched. And I know that I'm not trying to sound harsh when I say that. I just hope people conceptualize what I'm saying. Like, think about the process of business. Actually launching the product is the easiest part because everybody can launch a product, but actually getting that product to sell, optimizing the listing, having, creating good images, creating a good title, good bullet points, A+ content. That is what separates a good seller from not. I have a question. Would love your input. What up? What up? Question, brother. What up? Also, guys, it feels like we don't need to say I got a question. Just ask the question. Also, y'all, if you haven't already, make sure you check out the last couple TikTok videos that I posted. Second to last video, absolute gem, talking about how I failed selling a certain product on Amazon. And last video I posted, it is another part in the series, taking a new Amazon seller account from 0 to $1 million and documenting every step of the journey. Why giving people advice on Amazon FBA, doesn't it create more competition for you? Not once has anybody that I've ever taught how to sell on Amazon said that I'm going to go sell in the same category as you. There are literally tens of thousands of different products that can be sold on Amazon. So no, I am not creating competition for myself. And to answer the first question, if it wasn't for people who took time to teach me how to sell on Amazon, I would not be in the position that I am today. If it wasn't for people who had the keys to the castle, who unlocked the castle for me, I would not be in the position that I am today. How selfish of me would it be to get in this position, have the keys to the castle, and be like, I'm not going to share it with anybody else? When a product is on the way to Amazon, the list has to be active or inactive. When it's on the way, it's going to be inactive. When it's actually checked into Amazon is when it'll automatically be switched to active. Jay, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate you. People should read up on Amazon's algorithm. They can better understand on how Amazon works with products. I've been reading up on this week. Nice. Yes, Amazon's algorithm, A9 algorithm, very complex. Technically, nobody actually fully comprehends how, like a lot of the things that you'll read, Chris, although I do believe and find a lot of them accurate, nobody fully understands Amazon's A9 algorithm from front to back because Amazon doesn't publicly share the ins and outs of it. But yes, nonetheless, having a baseline that you do see improvements to is still good to have. So I'm not discounting it. You think 5K is doable? Is there anything else I can expect in terms of what to expect? But yes, I think 5K is doable. How long do Vine reviews usually take? I submitted Vine and got no reviews. Well, has anybody claimed them? Number one, and it can take a few weeks. If you're doing FBA Empire, you aren't the one who sets the status of your listing. Amazon sets it. So if it's active, it means your product is available and you don't do anything. You can't set it to inactive unless you close the listing. You never want to close a listing unless something is wrong. Joseph, thank you so much for the follow. How much would you invest in PPC ads as a beginner? I don't really like answering that question, because if you and I were both going to buy a brand new car, you wouldn't ask me, "Hey Luke, what should my budget for my new car be?" You would just know what you're willing to spend and how much budget you have allocated for that. I always start on the conservative sides of my bids and budgets. What's your estimate on the increase Amazon raises PPC bids during Q4? Anywhere from 30 to 200%. Nobody has claimed them, so should I just wait? It has been a week. Yeah, the only thing that you can do is wait. Something to consider, guys, is Vine is like shopping. So like if a Vine customer doesn't want your product, they don't claim your product. You're not necessarily entitled to everybody claiming your product that quick. Right when you submit it into Vine, people are going to shop around. They're going to look through what's available, and if they like it, they'll get it. If not, they don't. What's the minimum you think I can start with? Is like 200 a day? Oh, $200 okay to start with? I mean, it depends. How many campaigns do you have? What's your daily budget for those campaigns? What's the time frame for that 200? I usually start with like 10 a day per campaign, but I have multiple campaigns. And again, my budget does not equal your budget. Just stopping by to say Happy New Year. Happy New Year, Malik. God bless you, brother, and wishing you a very, very blessed 2025. Rach, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate you and everybody in the live. Big shout out. Big shout out to everybody in the YT live right now. We've had a pretty poppin' YT live today, and I got a little special place in my heart for anybody who takes the time out of their day to just chill in the YT YouTube live. So I do appreciate it. Very interested in your listing optimization, A+ content. Can you tell me more about it? And are you involved in the process, or is it handled by VAs? Well, number one, it's handled by my team, because I'm not a graphic designer. I'm not an S. I understand. Actually, I would consider myself an SEO specialist, but I don't create the listings or anything like that. Everything is overseen by me to an extent. Like, I'll give you guys a little behind the scenes. There was something that I noticed about a listing image that got created, that it's not so much that it was bad or that it wasn't good quality or anything like that. It was just not how I would have perceived the product. So I actually sat down with the team. I made sure that they fixed it. And this is before it even got to the customer. Make sure that we fixed it. And then we also sit down and have a talk about okay, this is the standard XYZ. It's the same people who create my listings. So are you optimizing for Rufus, and are you seeing any changes? Well, with this, it's very interesting, because it's a strategy to an extent that I've been doing for a while. So like my very first product and every product that I've launched, I actually will ask friends and family to go leave questions about my product, for example. And so I'll have them use keywords, specific keywords. And so anytime somebody's searching for certain things, or anytime somebody has a question about the product or how it works or this or that, I make sure that I cover those bases without the customer even having to help me cover those bases. So yes, to an extent, but it's not something I fully have been focusing on. One of my predictions for 2025 is that Amazon is going to implement some new AI things. We already saw Rufus. I think that they're going to implement a PPC AI tool. That's my prediction. We've already seen the listing AI tools. For a new beginner and doing my first listing, how would you recommend getting reviews, friends and family in the Vine program? Thoughts on selling gummies and supplements in 2025? It's one of the most competitive and expensive categories to launch on Amazon. If you only have a budget of 5K, don't even think about starting supplements. Unless you have a budget upwards of, I mean, this is just my opinion, like 20 plus, 25 plus K, that's where it gets expensive. Most supplement brands lose a lot of money before they actually organically rank, but they just understand that losing money. So let me share with you guys some brands. Not every brand works in the way of, I'm going to sell my product, I'm going to spend on ads, and I need to make profit on those ads. For example, I'm creating a funnel outside of Amazon right now where the front end funnel, we're okay with losing money because you're getting people into the funnel. And once people get into the funnel, you're going to be able to upsell them. You're going to be able to bring them into different services or whatever. So I may lose money in the beginning, but long term, I'm not losing money. So a brand like Starbucks, for example, they will like Starbucks coffee pods on Amazon are like 24 bucks, like the basic pack. I know they have different size variations. For Starbucks to get a sale, just because of how expensive that keyword is, and some supplements are the same, they will lose money to sell one of the, so they'll spend, for example, $40 to sell you a $20 coffee pod pack. You're like, Luke, that doesn't even make sense. Why would they do that? Because brands like that play a different game called the lifetime value of a customer. So if I lose $200 to acquire you as a customer, but then the average lifetime of each one of my customers is $2,000 over the course that they'll be spending with my brand, well, then in the beginning I lost 200, and I have to be able to afford to lose $200 for every customer. These are just all made up numbers, for example. But then on the back end, I'm going to make far more. So no, I wouldn't go into supplements nowadays. Luke, I launched a product, got a couple sales due to PPC, but I keep running out of money. I sent it to $12. What do you suggest? Get your conversion up. If you're profitable on your ads, you can increase your budget. If you're not profitable on your ads, you have to optimize your conversion. How to get sales first months of launching, assuming all research has been done in Helium 10. You get reviews and run PPC ads. Thanks. Any tips on reduced storage fees other than shrink package size? If your product is in standard size and you have, say, like 1,000 units, I would explore AWD, Amazon Warehouse and Distribution. It's essentially a warehouse where you can store products at Amazon, save up to 84% on shipping. You'll avoid any inbound placement fees with that, and you can send that products from AWD into Amazon's fulfillment centers so that you lower it. Product listing or photography. So the product listing and photography is, check out AMZ Masterclass optimized.com. It's in my TikTok bio, and you'll see a full price breakdown there. Unoptimized Amazon company, how much could you make every dollar you put in? I like to look at 50 to 100% ROI at least. So for every, actually, I like more of a dollar for established products. So for every dollar you put in, you get $1 back. Is that your dashboard? Yes. Amen. Thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate you. But on that note, everybody, if you guys like the videos, you guys like the lives, and want to have a more in-depth guide on how to sell on Amazon and have me as a mentor, be sure to check out the AMZ Masterclass Mentorship Program in the TikTok bio. God bless you all. Happy New Year. The only one who's going to make it a good year is you. TikTok, I will see you later. YouTube, I love you guys. A little more than TikTok. Don't tell them I said that. I appreciate y'all rocking with me on the lives here. Happy New Year. Again, if y'all want a more in-depth guide, check out the AMZ Masterclass Mentorship, and I will see y'all soon.